So I wanted to make a quick video for y'all on how to work with annuities. I'm going to try to show you guys how to do it in the calculator as well. So this will be going over 7.3 material, and we are getting close to being done. Yay! All right, so let me pull up the whiteboard. Got this upside down. All right, so annuities. Get a different color. All right, so the ordinary, and well, in the book it talks about ordinary annuities, and you'll see that word when it's asking for annuities. It's a big formula, but it kind of uses the compound formula with a couple of other things, so it's shouldn't be too difficult for you guys. Excuse me. All right, so here it is. It's A equals R. They use R here instead of P, but they're essentially the same thing. R plus little r over M to the N, and this is pretty much MT. It's the same thing as N, minus 1 all over R over M. The main thing with this formula is to be very careful with how you input it in the calculator. A lot of people input it incorrectly, and that's why they miss the problem. All right, so let's just go over a few things. R is your payments, your payments that you're putting in, okay? Most of the time it's monthly, you'll see monthly. So it's your payments. Little r is your rate that you're doing it. N is how often you're making your regular payments. Okay, and again, on the formula that I did for compound, remember it was A equals P times 1 plus R over N to the NT. This is essentially the same formula here. They just use it a little bit differently. They use the M and the N a little bit differently. They call this M, they call this whole thing N here. But what it is here in this formula, it's just your N times your T. It's how often it's compounded per the time. And then we have M, which is your interest that's being compounded. Okay, and then of course A is our future value, our amount that you're looking for. Okay. All right, so let's hopefully you guys got all that. I'm gonna add another page. All right, so let's look at an example. Well, let me write some steps first of all. So when we're talking about the steps for this, I'm gonna rewrite it over here. Okay, all of this is in parentheses. So when you do this, really the first thing you should do, you need to do this part first, then you subtract the 1, okay? Then you divide it by this part, and then the last thing you'll do is a multiply, because the order of operations we do parentheses and parentheses again, and then the division part, okay? So step 1 is to always do your 1 plus R over M to the n power, okay? Step 2 is you take this amount, take previous value, and then you subtract 1 from it, okay? Step 3 is then you take that amount from up here and divide, and I would say again, you need to have parentheses around what you're dividing it, the R over M. And then your last step would be to then multiply previous answer by your R value, okay? All right, so let's look at an example here. I'm going to write the formula up here again. All right. So let's say that we are, let's see, we want to find the amount of value of each ordinary annuity at the end of an indicated time period. So let's say we want to find the amount of an ordinary annuity given that we have $200, okay, in a monthly account at 3% for 8 years. Okay, we want to find ordinary annuity. All right, so let's kind of figure out what we're given here. We know that our payment amount that we're using is 200, so that's going to be our R. Okay, our rate here is our 3%. So again, we change that to a decimal, so that's 0.03. Remember to change it to a decimal when we move it 2 places to the left. Our M is how often it's going to be compounded here, and it says monthly, so that's going to be 12. And then our N is our time here. Remember, like I said, you're going to do it your compounded amount times your actual time. So that's 8 here. Okay, and we know that's going to be 72. Oh, no, excuse me, 96. 96 amount. 96. All right, so now we fill in our formula. We're trying to find A. I know 200, 1 plus 0.03 over 12 raised to the 96 power minus 1, all divided by 0.03 divided by 12. All right, and so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to pull up our graphing calculator with, pull both of these up at the same time. Let's see. Let's see here. All right, hit my formula. Let me see. All right, we'll just, well, see if this will work. Nope. All right. All right, anyway, we'll have to go back and forth. Okay, so the first thing we want to do is we want to do this part first, okay? So when you do this in the calculator, what I would do is I would take this, because it's in parentheses, you need to do division first. So you're going to take your 0.03 and we're going to divide it by 12. And again, your calculator may look a little different, and I don't even know. Let's see, I've not used this calculator before. All right. So we're going to do 0.03 and divide it by 12. Okay. And that gives you 0.0025. And then I'm going to add the 1 to it. and you get 1.025. Okay. The next step now is we're going to raise it to the 96 power. Some of your calculators may have a little caret top button, which looks like this. Okay. If you see that symbol, that means you're going to raise it to a power. If you see this symbol, x to the y power, that means that's also raising it to a power. Let me see what it is on this one. Let's see. I think it's this one. So 1, 0, 0, 2, 5 raised. No, that's not right. 2. All right, let me see the raising. Oh, here it is. See that x to the y? Okay, so we're going to be 1.0025. I'm going to hit that. See how it raises it up. And then we're going to do it to the 96 power. Press OK. Okay, we get that amount. Now the next step is we're going to subtract the 1 from it, so minus 1. Oh, that didn't do it right. 1.270868 minus 1. Okay, and we get that amount. Now the next thing we want to do is we want to use the division. Okay, so see this division part, we've done the top part of this, now we're going to divide it by that amount. Okay, and you got to be careful with this. So I'm going to take this number up here, 0.27, and I would keep as many decimals as you can type in it because we don't really want to round to the very end. So 0.270868 divided by, and I'm going to put this in parentheses, and it was 0.03 divided by 12, and close, we're going to arrow over, close that parentheses, press OK, and we get 108.34, about 35. And then I'm going to take, the last thing you're going to do is you're going to take this amount and multiply it by your R value, which was your payment. So 108.3472, and I'm going to multiply it by 200. So our annuity would be $21,669. Okay. All right, let's try one more example. All right, so let's say we are we have an amount of 400. That is being compounded monthly at 9% for 4 years. Okay, again, here's my formula. All that's in parentheses. All right, so what is our R here? Our R is 400. Our little r is our rate, which is going to be 0.09. Our M here is monthly again, so that's going to be 12. And then N is our 12 times, and we're talking about for 4 years, okay? So I'm going to fill it in, 400, 1 plus 0.09 over 12, raised to the 48th power, minus 1, all divided by 0.09 divided by 12, okay? So we need to be able to put this in the calculator. And again, you're going to start out with the 1 plus 0.09 over 12. You're going to start with that in the calculator first. And again, I would enter this in piece by piece, okay? So move this down, and here's the calculator. Go home, okay. All right, so let's clear it. All right, we're going to start over. So we're going to do our parentheses, and I'm going to do 0.09 divided by 12 first. Okay, that gives us 0.0075. Then we add the 1 to it, so that was what's in parentheses. Okay, so that's 1.005. 0075. And now we're going to raise that number, so 1.0075 raised to the 48th power. You get 1.431405. And then I'm going to add 1 to that, so 1.431405 plus 1. You get that amount. Excuse me, I did that wrong. What are we supposed to do? We're not supposed to add 1, we're supposed to take away 1. So 1.4105. And let's try that again. 1.431405. This was the amount. Now we're going to take away 1. Okay, and we get this amount. And now we're going to take this amount and we're going to divide it by that 0.09 divided by 12. So we're going to divide, so 0.431405 divided by, parentheses, 0.09 divided by 12. Okay? We get 57.52, and then our last step is to multiply this number by your R amount, which was 400. And again, I'm going to retype it, 5.52067 times 400. What is this? Let's try this again. 57.52067 times 400. Okay, and we get 23,008.27 cents. This also, you guys, anybody can use this calculator. It's called www.numworks.com/simulator. So if any of you don't have a calculator, you need one, you can use this on your computer and just go to this website and input this into your computer. All right, I hope this helps you guys. Let me know if you have any questions.